that we're dealing with now.
Good day everyone, my name is Nizhelle Simblante from STEM 11A. For today's video, I will show to you how to make a potable water using the water cycle. But before we go on our activity, first we must know what is a water cycle. Water cycle is the continuous cycle in which water changes from water vapor in the atmosphere to liquid water through condensation and precipitation, and then back to water vapor through evaporation, transpiration, and respiration. Now that you know what is a water cycle, we can now proceed to our activity.
Materials that you are going to use in this experiment. You will need one container, water, dirt or soil or sand, plastic wrapper enough to cover the container, empty cup, stone or weights, and the rubber bands or tape. And now let's proceed to the procedures. Step 1. In the container, mix the water and the dirt or soil or sand, whichever you have. Step number 2. Put the empty cup at the center inside the container. Make sure the cup is higher than the level of the water. Step number 3. Cover the container using the plastic wrapper and make sure to lock it on place using rubber bands or tape. Step number 4. Put a weight above the plastic aligned with the plastic cup. Step number 5. Leave the project outside to be exposed to the sun for at least 5 hours and make sure it is sunny. Step number 6. Observe the project and analyze what happened. After how many hours?
Since we are done with our procedures, we can now answer the given questions. Question number 1. What was inside the plastic cup after exposing it outside? After I exposed it outside, I can see that there's a clean water inside the plastic cup. Question number 2. Where did it come from? It came from the plastic wrapper that is wrapped on the container. And because of the process of evaporation, the water develops into the plastic wrapper and goes to the empty cup. Question number 3. Explain how is it possible or how did it happen? It is possible because there's a process of water cycle, mainly evaporation and condensation. Evaporation happens when we expose the container by the heat coming from the sun, and on the other hand, condensation happens when the water vapor rises into the plastic wrapper, and when it cools down, it changes back into droplets of water. Question number 4. What was the purpose of the stone or weights? The purpose of the stone or weights is for the water that came from the plastic wrapper fall directly into the empty cup. Question number 5. What did you learn from this experiment? In this experiment, I learned that water cycle involves the exchange of energy which leads to changing of the temperature. Water can become vapor or liquid. I also reflected that water is an important resource because it is the source of life of all living things in the world. That is why we need to conserve it and not to pollute it. Because even if we can separate sediments and visible dirt, as the case of the experiment, it is still hard to eliminate traces of chemicals that are invisible or colorless. Thus, this experiment not only helped me be familiar with the water cycle, but it also taught me the lessons and responsibilities in taking care of our most valuable resource, water.